Hi, this is Toby Korean, and I'm here to tell you about the joys of owning an Android tablet. So, this is an Arcos 5 internet tablet, and as you can see, it's a pretty small 5-inch form factor, but it's bigger than a normal phone that you'd have. The main idea here is to go through some of the ways in which you'd use a tablet and stop focusing so much on, for example, the specifications of the tablet, and rather look into how you'd use it and where it would make sense and whether you'd actually enjoy using such a device. So this is running Android, as you can see, and I've got a home screen in place, and you can see that it's got multiple home screens and I can choose between any of them. It's a fairly responsive device, and it's customizable in a way that most Android devices are. But I want to show you how I use this tablet, and you can then decide whether such a tablet is good for you or not. So let's start with internet browsing. So as you can see, I've connected to my Wi-Fi network and I'm using the Dolphin internet browser, but quite a few other browsers available. I'll show you why I use Dolphin. So we wait for this to load up. Now, most tablets, for example, will have buttons. This particular tablet doesn't, but it lets you full screen an application, as in when you want to. You can double tap it, for example. Now it's completely full screen. You can then open a new tab. Let's open a few of my favorite websites. So I'm going to go into Google Reader. While that's loading, I'm going to open a new tab. As you can see, it's pretty snappy. I'm going to open up Android ZA website, which I frequent. And I want to show you what the experience is like with a real website as well, and we'll see that with Android ZA. Alright, so we've got a couple of Google Reader articles here. The beauty of Google Reader, by the way, is, okay, let's just close that. I can go full screen here, and this, as you can see, is just a beautiful rendering of the Google Reader website. So it makes it very easy to read. You can, I prefer it in portrait mode, but you can choose whichever mode you want to. You can mark all as read, for example. You can go through each one, images load in line, and so on. So as you can see, it's very smooth, it's very responsive, and even though this is a resistive screen, I have absolutely no issues using it. I'm using the lightest of touches. The difference between using a resistive screen and a capacitive screen is that I can't use my finger this way, because that's when it's quite difficult. It's not always responsive, but if I use my finger sideways, it makes it very, very easy. Okay, so it's a slight adjustment, but it makes all the difference. Right, so we're just going to do that, and let's go back to our other tab. And here, for example, I will just go to the forum, and we can of course go landscape. It makes more sense for a website like this. Okay, what we're going to do here is show the experience of browsing, for example, multiple forum posts, and be able to specifically target pages, because I read this forum on a fairly frequent basis. So in this case, for example, I want to read the second page of this first post here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold my finger down there and click on link, and you'll notice that it actually picked the second page. That's where the accuracy of the resistive screen comes in. So I'm going to open a new tab, and while that's loading, I'm going to open another tab on, say, this tablet watch, which is kind of the post that made me think about doing this video. So let's open that, and let's go and see them quickly. So that's still loading. Let's just close our reader down. And as you can see here, we're loading the navigation thread, and we're on page 2 of 2. So yeah, this is a fairly heavy site. It's got a lot of adverts and so on, so it does slow it down a little bit, but it's not that it's unusable. Okay, we have some nice features on, for example, this browser, where I can switch to the next tab simply by swiping right, and I've gone to the next tab. I can swipe left again to get back to the previous tab. So here, for example, you can see that the scrolling is fairly smooth. Another thing is if I'm right at the bottom of this page and I want to get back to the top, I can use a gesture like that. Gets me back to the top of the page. Okay, so as a browsing device, it's really great. We don't have to worry about do we have multi-touch, because as you can see, I never zoom into these pages. I can accurately click on links. Let's see if we've got a second page here. Okay, we don't, but let's, for example, hit reply. Again, even though it's a small link, I don't have to zoom in to click it. Okay, so that kind of gives you an overview of the browsing experience on this device.